Let's have a look at how to factorize non-monic quadratic expressions. Non-monic means this a is no longer 1. So it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 100, or it can be negative number. So let's do the first question, expand and simplify. We know that you can use the FOIL method. So 2x times by x, that will give me 2x squared. And 2x times by 1, that will give me 2x. I finished with the first term. So now I'm going to use the second term in the first bracket. So I have 3 times by x, which is 3x, and I have 3 times by 1 plus 3. So therefore, the final answer is 2x squared plus 5x, because these two are the like terms, plus 3. Now today what we're going to learn is how to go backwards from 2x squared plus 5x plus 3 to the bracket times bracket. In fact, we're still using the same theory, the FOIL. Okay, but we are going backwards. So we're going to actually pay attention because this method is quite different from the AC method, which is 2 times by 3 and the final factors of that. I'm actually using a different layout. Okay, where do we start? We start from 2x squared. Now think about 2x squared. What are the factors? I can say this is 2x times by x. That will give me 2x squared. Once I finish that, I'm going to look at my constant. What about constant? What are the two numbers multiplied together will give me 3. So that is 1 times by 3. So you are listing the factors of the leading terms, which are 2x squared, as well as the factors of the constant, which is 1 and 3. Now the next tricky part is you need to figure out how we can get to this 5x. Now, firstly, you can try this way. You're gonna do 2x times by 1. So 2x times by 1 is 2x, and then you do x times by 3. That will give me 3x. Then you're going to ask yourself, are these two add up to 5x? The answer is yes. Good. So we got all the numbers and the terms that we need. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put brackets. The first set of bracket has 2x. The second set of bracket, you have x. Now the next part has to be really, really careful. You are now thinking about how you expand the bracket. Now, if you look at 2x here, this 2x, the first term, is always multiplied by the terms in the second bracket. So x is already there, and this 2x is multiplied to 1, so therefore this positive 1 should be in the second bracket. It can't be in the same bracket as 2x. Again, we're using the expanding bracket knowledge here. So what that means is my positive 3 should be in the first bracket, because what happened here when we expanded, this 3 is multiplied to x, will give us 3x. So that's your final answer. And you can check whether your answer is correct or not by expanding them to reach the original question. Now, pause the video and try these questions. I know that in the beginning, it can be hard, but try a few times. Once you get hang of it, you'll find it's actually very easy and quick. Now let's have a look at question A. So we're going to firstly have a look at 3x squared. What are the factors will multiply to that? So 3x times by x. Great. What about 7? 1 times by 7 will give me 7. So now when you think about what we multiply, how we multiply these sets of numbers here so that we can get to 10x at the end. So let's do 3x times by 1 will give me 3x, great. X times by 7 will give me 7x, that's great. So when I add them together, that will give me 10x. So tick. Therefore, we can use these 4 sets. So bracket times by bracket, put 3x and x in each bracket. Now remember, 3x is multiplied by 1. So think about expanding the bracket. So this one has to be in the second bracket. And x is times by 7. This 7 is in the first bracket. So that will actually help us to do 7 times by x when we expand the bracket. So therefore, the final answer is 3x plus 7, x plus 1. But some of you may be saying, hey, Miss, I list things a little bit differently from you. And I do have a 3x and x, but I should put 7 on the top and 1 at the bottom. Now, that's totally fine. There's one way you also try is instead of going horizontally this way to multiply, you can actually go this way. Okay, so there are some trial and errors involved. So this is not the only direction. If this doesn't work, you can try this direction as well. So what that means is 3x is now times by 1, so that will give me 3x, and x times by 7, so that's 7x. And when you add them together, that will give me 10x. So which is same. And then you put the brackets on. Again, same, 3x and x in each bracket. Now, because 3x is multiplied to 1, so therefore 1 and 3x can't be in the same bracket. So you have to put 1 in the second bracket. And x is multiplied by 7, so that means 7 should be in the other bracket. It cannot be in the same bracket as x. So it will give you the same answer. So you can have two different directions to try and see which one works. Now let's have a look at the question B. Question B, you have negatives, and when you have negatives, it just makes things a little bit more complicated. However, we can deal with it easily as well. So we have 3x squared, so that is 3x times by x. We have 8. Instantly in my brain, I got 4 and 2. Which one should be negative? I have no idea. Maybe I should try something, but before I do that, I'm gonna actually ask myself, I multiply this way, that will give me 12x and 2x. If I add them together, it's 14, but if minus them is 10, nothing is close to 2x. So that's not right. So I'm gonna try another way. So this time is cross and cross. So this time, if I multiply 3x to 2, that will give me 2x, and x times by 4, that is 4x. If you add them together, it's 10x, but if you find a difference, that will give you negative 2x. So here we go. How can we get negative 2x? By having negative 6x plus 4x will give us negative 2. So that means my negative 2 should be here. So my 2 needs to be negative. So I hope that you follow the method here. Please feel free to pause the video if you didn't get it and just go back and then watch it again. Now I have two brackets, 3x and x, and 3x is multiplied by negative 2, so negative 2 is in the other bracket. X is multiplied by 4, so positive 4 in the first bracket. Now let's have a look at the last question. It's definitely slightly more complicated than before. You suddenly, oh, it's no longer just x squared. You have this x plus 1, the whole thing squared. Do not be afraid. What we're going to do is we're going to actually choose another letter and say, let that letter be m equals to x plus 1. So now what we're going to do is substitution. We're going to replace the x plus 1 with m. So therefore, this will be m squared minus 2, replace this with by m, so it's 2m minus 3. Now, if you look at this new expression that we got, is the similar quadratic expression that we actually encounter with. Now, it's not non-monic, it's a monic quadratic expression, so a lot easier to deal with. So m squared means m times m. So I should have bracket times by bracket. You should have an m in each bracket. We're going to look at the constant term, which is negative 3. We know that 1 times by 3 is 3. Which one is negative? We have to make sure these two add up to negative 2. So in order to get negative 2, my 3 has to be negative, because 1 plus negative 3 will give us negative 2, and 1 times by negative 3 gives us negative 3. So therefore, one bracket has positive 1 and one bracket has negative 3. Now, because the original question is not in terms of m, so we have to replace it back. So now we replace the m back with x plus 1, and we still have plus 1 in the bracket, and this m is x plus 1, but we still have minus 3 behind. Make sure you collect the like terms, all the numbers, you can sort it together. So it's x plus 2 times by x minus 2.